What's up, everyone? So I just wanted to point out something that may already be obvious to a lot of people, but I just think it's worth mentioning more than ever. And that is that with the growing police state, you're going to see a whole lot more programming that glorifies uh, government workers and government offices. And if you're wondering what that means, well, take a look at any of your major network lineups. You're going to have, lawyers, cops, DEA, CIA, secret agents, spies, maybe it's NYPD, Chicago, anything you can imagine with a show where the drama is centered around um, the excitingness of government actors, maybe prosecutors, something like that. You're going to just see a growth of this more than ever. Um, and you will also notice a trend that none of these shows will ever have a critique of the system. There will always be uh, that the that the problems, if any, within the system are because of a few bad apples. It's always going to be, oh, there are just a couple bad guys. The system's good and it could be fixed or whatever, whatever is going on, if there is any sort of drama centered around that. But it's just some bad apples that need to be purged. The system's good, but we just need to get rid of the bad apples. And you're just going to see that constantly. Every show that you're going to see coming out, especially more than ever, as the government tries to clamp down and use every, near martial law tactic you could possibly use to get people to give over their civil liberties. You're just going to see show after show after show glorifying the positions of the executive branch, especially the agencies of the executive branch. And you're going to also see a lot of humor centered around uh, making light of abuses within the system. You'll see cop shows or cop movies come out where abusing the authority that is vested supposedly, I don't agree that it is, but that is supposedly invested into these people. Um, where that is just like something to laugh at. If somebody's getting beat by police, if police are speeding, if they're shooting people, or whatever it is, whatever small guffaw they have, or whether it's big, oh, that's, you can brush that off. It's no big deal. The ends justify the means will always be the narrative that you'll see, and this is going to be just a very scary time with mass media, and as people turn to the alternatives in the market, like House of Cards, where there's actual critiques of the system itself, because it's private, it's not orchestrated by the government grant monopoly granting powers with radio waves and broadcasting waves. Um, you're going to see this battle emerge where the market's going to favor people, sorry, it's programming that shows people, actors who are critical of government, are showing the inefficiencies of government. Thinking of like House of Cards and other movies that come out that kind of critique things, even Captain America. Um, where Captain America was talking about every gun being pointed on that ship at Americans and threatening them. If you're not familiar with the movie, the context, just know that they made a libertarian-esque critique of the government. But you're going to find this battle beginning between the mainstream uh, broadcasters who are trying to promote the government's agenda through glorification of the state's agents and the downplaying of abuses through comedy. Um, and you're going to see the private market start to emerge with shows that critique the government, um, starting to gain popularity within private market circles. And when I say private market, I'm saying where the venues aren't restricted by government. It's not like on the radio waves or broadcast waves where people are just making shows on YouTube, making shows on pay for subscribership series. Like for example through Netflix. Say Redbox will start taking a cue from Netflix and trying to launch their own series. But you'll see this dynamic and this dichotomy start to grow. So just be aware of that, because you're going to see, I've already been watching it for a while, and it's just like, it's nightmarish just how crazy the literal worship of the pedestal of the executive branch is in TV shows, just glorifying and glorifying and, getting people to buy into this idea that these positions, what I'm talking about, the prosecutors, police, FBI, DEA, CIA, secret agents, whatever, that, this ends justify the means mentality, whether it's from, a serious perspective, a dramatic perspective, or a comedic perspective. With shows that try to make light of police screwing over people, or government agents screwing over people. And again, never the system will be critiqued. It's always about a bad apple at worst, or a couple bad apples that need to be purged from the system. So, just food for thought. It's getting crazy because informational war that's being waged out there is getting tight. With congressional approval ratings at historic lows, the whole uh, showdown that's going on with the Middle East, and Obama trying to launch more attacks back in Iraq again. I mean, it's so obvious that the executive just dying. And I'm not saying executive in a singularity. I'm saying as a whole system, military-industrial complex system is dying to amp and ramp up the uh, the production and destruction of weapons used against civil liberties. Um, so just be on the lookout. Keep your eyes sharp because it's coming. Take care.